and welcome to episode 4 of Taylor's Detroit Sports on Spreaker. I'm your host, Taylor Phillips. I will recap the doubleheader for you right now between the Tigers and Indians at Comerica Park. Didn't go well at all. Indians took the first one 6-2. Tigers call-up starting pitcher Drew Verhagen gave up 3 runs in his major league debut and took the loss but pitched well. That's just beginner's luck there. And the Indians also took the game to 5-2 to complete a doubleheader sweep. Max Scherzer hung 2 curveballs against Chris Dickerson, a former Baltimore Oriole who took him deep twice and suffered neck spasm throughout the game as he threw 118 pitches, but he's expected to make his next start because, assumingly, it's not that serious. Scherzer said he doesn't expect it to be a factor. He said, quote, "I've got 5 days to take care of this. This is just a one-day thing. We've got great trainers, and we'll have a program for what I'm going to do over the next 5 days to take care of it," unquote. Brad Ausmus said, quote, "I'm sure he'll get it treated in the meantime, but I don't expect it to be a problem. I guess we won't know for sure until tomorrow. We'll see how he feels," unquote. So Ausmus is still not quite sure, but still feels confident. Also, Joe Nathan gave up a tie-breaking 3-run double to Carlos Santana in the 9th inning, as you saw on Fox Sports 1. Game 1 is on Fox Sports Detroit. That took place in the 9th inning after loading the bases. But I heard additionally that Nathan during his delivery on about every pitch was grunting. It made a grunting sound, which probably meant something could have been physically wrong with him. It might even be a possible injury. He might have tweaked something in his ankle or his wrist, something like that. Head trainer Kevin Rand had better check this out and report it to Brad Ausmus and Dave Dombrowski. Whatever the issue with Nathan is, if he was not injured or hurt, then the grunting would not have been necessary. But if he kept grunting, then something would have been serious with him. And what I do mean by serious, I meant possibly by an injury or just some kind of minor pain. One of the two. That's the one thing that only I know about Joe Nathan right now. And I hope the Tigers take a look at Joe Nathan starting tomorrow. He probably will not pitch tomorrow on Sunday in the series finale against the Tribe. If he continues to grunt during his delivery on every pitch in his next outing, then maybe both Brad Ausmus and Dave Dombrowski would know better. But I think they should both know that already. They just have to take a look at the videos and turn up the audio. And figure out what's causing this grunting. Because I think something must be causing Nathan to make grunting sounds during his delivery on every pitch in that ninth inning. This may be this may be another part of the concern that Tigers fans usually have of this bullpen. So, Game 4 of the series will feature Drew Smyly in the starting pitching matchup. And I'm sure he's going to get rocked again by this dangerous Indians offense. And unless he can figure something out, it's going to be a blowout. The way the Tigers, considering the way the Tigers offense has been performing in this series, that they've only scored 7 runs total. Since the All-Star break, they had been ice cold. Especially oh, forget it. It's just the entire offense in general. They're not swinging the bats at the good pitches, and they're swinging at the bad ones instead. That's not hitting fundamentally. That's just stupid hitting. And that's just what can't not happen in the major leagues. It just can't happen. It's that simple. You even learn it in the little leagues. You just wait for a good pitch in the strike zone and try to hack at it. Whether it's a fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, sinker, split finger, it doesn't matter. Sliders and changeups. And all that stuff. Because you know what, because they know what league they're in. We all know what league they're in. It's too simple not to figure it out. It doesn't even take elementary math to figure this out. Okay, moving on. There was a report that the Tigers were interested in relief pitcher Brad Ziegler, but the Diamondbacks, the Arizona Diamondbacks, will likely keep him. That was from the Score Mobile, thescore.com. And relief pitcher Joel Hanrahan was transferred to the 60-day disabled list on Saturday, which makes me think he could miss the entire season. But that's because General Manager Dave Dombrowski said there is no set timetable for his return. Okay, I guess that's reasonable, but Dave Dombrowski, please do us a favor do us a favor and ask more people. Ask the people that know this. Ask Joel Hanrahan himself. He's the best guy you can turn to. Because he's the pitcher. He's been rehabbing from Tommy John surgery, has Joel Hanrahan. But I believe Hanrahan is likely to miss the entire 2014 season. I really don't think that was a brilliant move by Dave Dombrowski acquiring Joel Hanrahan, who was injured the whole time. I really don't. Oh, back to Joe Nathan. I tweeted and posted on Facebook that Joe Nathan gave up a leadoff double when he shouldn't have, but once Austin Jackson got to that fly ball in deep right center field, he dropped it when he should have caught the ball, and he dropped it like a Little League player sometimes does, and then Avila let one go by for a passed ball, and the way Joe Nathan was grunting, I also thought he was overthrowing. Maybe that could be the case instead of an injury. It could be one of the two choices. It could be one of the two things or cases. We'll have to see it. There's no injury news yet on Joe Nathan, and probably not at all. But I'll keep my eyes on news sources everywhere. But I think he was overthrowing, and he needs to just cool down on it. Just cool down, just settle in, relax on the mound, and just deliver the right pitches and regroup with your pitch command and delivery, and just be the Joe Nathan you used to be. That's all that Dave Dombrowski and Brad Ausmus and Jeff Jones, their pitching coach, ask you to do. Other Detroit sports news, the Red Wings were recently in the waiting process with restricted free agents right-winger Tomas Tatar and defenseman Danny DeKeyser. Talks have been going on, but nothing has got them close to either deal. Right now, Tomas Tatar is overseas, said Ken Holland, quote, and he's waiting to hear back on their latest offer. On the DeKeyser front, we met them in early June. We talked briefly at the draft, and we haven't really talked much in July. I've made what I think are pretty good offers. They haven't really countered. We're just in the waiting process. Now keep in mind, though, the Red Wings, who have 21 players signed to one-way contracts and have roughly $8 million in cap space remaining, according to CapGeek.com, originally tendered qualifying offers to 7 skaters, including Tatar and DeKeyser. The other 5 were Riley Sheahan, Mitch Callahan, Andre Nessersill, Adam Almquist, who will remain in Sweden this upcoming season. And the 5th one was Landon Ferraro. Four other young players that have gone unqualified by the Wings and will become unrestricted free agents are defensemen Gleason Fournier and Max Nicastro, and forwards Trevor Parks, Willie Coetzee, and Corey Emerton. That article was written back on June 30th this year. But all in all, General Manager Ken Holland is just keeping loyal to all of his current players. He thinks the Red Wings are good on everything. And he just wants the Red Wings to just make the playoffs and not win the Stanley Cup. But it doesn't work that way. You see? Ken Holland has just lost his marbles. Or his mind. Worse yet. Does he not care about winning the Stanley Cup anymore? I mean, come on, seriously. Ken Holland doesn't even want to sign any free agent NHL players out there. He just doesn't care. He just no longer cares about winning the Stanley Cup. And if he doesn't, then why even try to make the playoffs, for goodness sakes? Then just break the streak for all we care. And then just leave after next year. For right now, you got to do something. You want to be a Stanley Cup contender again? Go sign better free agent defensemen. Mike Babcock is another reason the Red Wings aren't getting any free agents. He said if the free agent players don't want to be coached, then they shouldn't come here. Well, Mike Babcock has got to watch his mouth about what he says. Although he proves a valid point, some of the NHL free agencies free agent players rather already feel like they already know how to play the game of hockey in the National Hockey League. Maybe they're too arrogant, or maybe not. I don't know. 2 minutes left here. The Josh Smith to the Kings deal is not imminent from thescore.com. The Pistons are willing to part with Smith, but they won't do it for free. The Kings, who are interested in him, figured the Pistons would readily part with the remainder of his 3-year, $40.5 million contract without recourse, but that is apparently not the case. In fact, the Pistons are reportedly prepared to bring Smith back for another season if the right price isn't met. He's clearly talented at 28 years of age, but he finds himself in an awkward situation in Detroit. The skilled forward is more suited to play the 4 on offense, but has been forced to the perimeter due to the presence of more traditional bigs Greg Monroe and Andre Drummond. Smith is ill-suited to play small forward as he has a penchant for launching three-pointers, which he is not very good at making. He shot a whopping 3.4 threes per game last season and only connected on 26.4% of them, which is not good. I hope the Pistons get rid of him. We all do. That's all I know. Join me on blogtalkradio.com this Sunday night at 11. That's later tonight for the Tigers edition of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. Then I'll talk to you back on Spreaker Monday night. TTFN, ta-ta for now.